Lionel Nelson here, and welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men. So the first question I would like to ask you, Mr. Walter, is what are some of the health issues that plague our men today?
The first one, the most important one, is that silent killer, blood pressure. That's the silent killer. High blood pressure runs rampant in a lot of us African American men, and men period, and we don't go get that checked.
Right.
So you have to get that blood pressure checked. That your high blood pressure with the heart function and the brain. If your blood pressure is out of whack, you may not know it. You may feel great. That's what they call a silent killer.
I did a research, and one of the things that came up, it says that the 10 top health risks for men, and at the top is heart health.
Mm-hmm.
That's at the very top, heart health. Especially you talking about blood pressure. Now, the question I want to ask you in regards to that, does it matter what age that you should be concerned about your blood pressure?
No, especially the kids of today, they're not as healthy as we were because they're not going outside, getting that exercise. So right now, I would say go to your doctor and start getting that checked and keep it regulated because it can affect the young as well as the old.
So then you said go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's something we don't do. I'm guilty of it.
So again, then what would you think or say or believe is number one, number two, number three reasons that we don't go to the doctor? I'm not going to say me because I go, but I'm just saying men in general, why we as men don't go to the doctor.
Well, the first big reason, a lot of men, they don't have insurance.
I said that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they don't have insurance, but with what Obama put in place and so forth and so on, you can get decent insurance at a low, moderate price and invest in yourself. Invest in yourself and go do that. But we're not talking about insurance tonight, but that is a big reason why they don't go. The second reason, fear.
Let's start right there. Fear of what? Fear of what though?
Fear of what the doctor might say.
So in essence, the unknown. So apparently,
unknown.
I guess we could say then, I know something wrong, but I don't want to go and find out. I don't want to take the time to find out why something may be wrong. So then again, would you say also, well, I don't want to take the question away from you. Okay, so we have insurance, we have fear. Do you have any others?
Ignorance.
Why would you say ignorant? Why would you say that?
Because all that leading up, fear, okay, you feel you're scared to go to the doctor. Each person knows how your body's supposed to feel. When you woke up that morning, you know if you're feeling blah and so forth and so on. Your body's going to tell you. You have an innate sense about it. Mm-hmm. So if you're not feeling well, and you've been feeling like this for quite some time, we're going to say, oh, you just keep putting it off and putting it off. You can't put yourself off.
Right.
Because you'll be putting it off and you'll be end up somewhere where you'll be putting it off forever. Because, being deceased, dead is forever.
That's true. So now, but let's go back to, you said, okay, so ignorance, fear, and insurance. So when it comes down to insurance, because this is one of the things I said, either they can't afford it, they don't want to spend the money, or they don't have insurance, or they just don't want to go because they feel they macho, they feel they can handle it, they feel they can recover it. I think it's just something about men, when as a young age, of a young age, and 20 years down the line, you may feel like you're still 20 years old when actually you're 40 years old. And there are a lot of things that are in your body that has changed,
Correct.
But now, if money is an issue, but this is an interesting slide that I found on in my research. And it says that if you take better care of your car or favorite gadget than your body, you aren't alone. According to the Men's Health Network, a lack of awareness, weak health education, and unhealthy work and personal lifestyles have caused a steady deterioration of the well-being of American men. But yet still, you don't have a problem now dropping that money in your car, buying that 50 or 60-inch, 65-inch television.
Right.
But you don't want to take the time to spend $50 or $100 or $150 or whatever, at least to go get yourself checked out. So
Right.
I guess that's part of the ignorance in what you're saying, huh?
Correct. That all placates, the things that we don't need, we spend a whole lot of money on that.
Okay.
Instead of things that we should be working on,
So then how many times would you say that a man should go to the doctor? Because of course, I was talking with my wife about it, and she said that women generally go to the doctor once a year. How many times would you say that a man should go for a physical?
Each man should go for a physical. I plan mine around my birthday, so I don't miss it. So I plan my annual around my birthday. So when that year goes by, around my birthday is in September. So I'm gonna have my physical. I'm gonna do a full blood screen, the whole track.
Right.
I'm gonna have my physical in September, and I'll have my numbers then. Now, is there anything I have to work on? Then I'll go from there. But I'd have my one big annual physical where I spend a whole day with the doctor to get my blood test, urine, everything. My CMB with the metabolic rate, the whole nine. You tell your doctor you want a wellness check, and they know exactly what you're talking about, and you get that. So once a year with that. Now with the teeth, at least, yes. And then with the as far as the dentist is concerned, I get my teeth cleaned twice a year. But we have to take care of your teeth too.
That's a part of your health, right?
That's a part of your health, exactly.
And affect your health if your teeth, if you don't have good dental origin or hygiene.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and when it comes down to high blood pressure, I know we said that we should go get your numbers checked. Go for a wellness check at least once a year. Now, I'm 61 years old. I'll be 62 in a couple of months. I have a physical. I go to the doctor every quarterly because I tell myself, I don't know how my family feel about it. And then I have times when I think about it, I don't know if I really, but I always say, I want to live to see 110. Now that might seem unrealistic, but that's my goal. But
that's what you want.
I say that because then if that's what my target goal is, then it's going to be very important for me to do those things that are necessary for me to live that long life, to have that longevity.
Correct.
Right.
That's important. And as you age, yes, you should go more frequently, but at least get that. A lot of people don't get that one in. That one annual, you at least got to get that one, and then as you know how you start feeling, then you go and maybe schedule another one. And if you have insurance, the doctor should grant that.
Right.
So that's your body. And then a lot of things that we don't do, and you have a doctor, you don't tell the doctor the truth.
Oh, that's a mic drop, bro.
You don't tell the doctor the truth. The doctor works for you. The doctor doesn't know how you feel unless you tell him. Tell him or her.
Wow.
So the doctor is like your attorney. If the doctor's going to fight for you, tell the doctor everything.
Wow. There was a question that someone asked about hypertension. What causes hypertension? What causes high blood pressure?
The main cause of hypertension these days, stress first, and poor diet.
Wow. Check this out. I came across this slide too, and this is healthline.com. And it said that the American Heart Association states that more than 1 in 3 adult men have some form of cardiovascular disease. Black American men account for 100,000 more cardiovascular disease deaths than Caucasian men. Strokes targets more than 3 million men. High blood pressure is common in males under the age of 45, according to the American Heart Association. Why? Why are we doing? I just want to ask the question: why are we doing this to ourselves, man? Or would you say it's because of lack of knowledge?
Lack of knowledge.
Understanding?
Yeah. It's lack of knowledge, and then that poor diet. You know, we think, like, for example, my father. You know, God bless the dead. He he passed away 7 years ago, but his diet was horrible.
Right.
And he had a heart attack. His diet was horrible, but my father thought because he was a coach, he not a coach, excuse me, a referee, basketball referee, run up and down the court, and he was an avid dancer and all that stuff like that. That was okay. No, that's never enough. You got to go get it checked. He left it unchecked, and it was to his demise.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
what you put in your gut determines that feeds everything.
So you have to eat healthy.
Yeah, you have to eat healthy. You listen. I did a study, and it's a ratio. Okay, the ratio is 3-to-1. So if you put one bad thing in your body, you have to put 3 good things to combat that one bad thing.
What would you consider to be good? Let's do it this way. What? Yeah. What would you consider to be bad eating, or a bad diet for we as men?
Okay, give you an example. Just 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, I was touching 400 pounds. Yeah, I was eating horrible. 392 pounds to be exact. And after losing 2 of my college friends, 2 of my best friends, he had a metabolic episode, which he died from a diabetic coma. And the other one passed away from diverticulitis. That's the inflammation of your intestines. Okay. But both, Mike was a big dude like I was. Both, we were always big dudes in college and so forth. Now, I said, listen, I'm going to have one cheat day. And during the week, I just made it. It took a while, but it's a habit. You got to increase your water intake. Okay. Wow. I still like, that water is a key factor. I still like the fried chicken and the pizza and stuff like that. Your diet shouldn't be stressful. Have some of the things that you want, but put some vegetables with it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have that fried piece of chicken, don't eat the biscuit, and make sure you have some vegetables with it, and wash it down with you have that water. You have to pick and choose your battles. If I'm gonna have this, I'm not gonna have this piece of cake. Even
you have to have it in moderation.
Yeah, do things in moderation. Correct. Yeah, instead of getting up in the morning, okay, the key to it, but every diet for me, it may not be a good diet for you. Right. You got to figure out who you are as a person. Myself, I consumed a lot of my calories in drinks. That Publix iced tea and lemonade, I would drink. I would drink a whole gallon of that in one day by myself.
I've been guilty, bro.
Yeah. So what I chose to do, I said, okay, I'm just not going to buy it. And I didn't buy it and put it in my refrigerator.
Right.
I bought other things to go in place of that to help me, because I knew that's why I drank my calories. I consumed a lot of my calories through liquid. So you got to find out who you are. And then once you find out who you are, just be honest with yourself and stop stepping away from the things that you like. Right. Bit by bit. You can't do it all in chunks. I'm a realist. You drop everything in chunks, then you're gonna drive yourself crazy. No, you do it bit by bit, and it'll start working for you. And then just take steps into doing an exercise regimen. And everybody say, okay, I'm gonna start running. No. You started walking if you wasn't running when you're big, you ain't gonna run when you're big. So start walking and take steps in and okay, I walked a half a mile this day and try again the next day and increase that. I start parking in front by the Publix, and I park way back so I could have to have a long walk. Instead of catching the elevator, take the stairs. It's different options you could do. But with that, go ahead.
Yeah, question I want to ask you. Well, I do want to ask, what were the steps that you took? I think you maybe mentioned them now in order to lose the weight that you had to lose. But I'm curious as to what age were your friends when they passed away?
Jameson was 40 and Mike was 43.
These are young men.
Yeah, young men. Yes.
These are young men.
Yes.
So now, my question I would ask, I don't know if you can answer this question or not. The conditions in which that they passed away from, were they conditions in which that could have been prevented?
Correct. Yes, they were. Now, when Mike passed, he went into a diabetic coma. He just was diagnosed with diabetes, and yes, he didn't. A lot of times, and people, this is another educational thing. If you need to become aware, and he was just diagnosed with diabetes, but he didn't understand what he was going through. So when he called me, he actually called me the day that I told him to go to the hospital. He called me. He said, "My vision is blurry." That's a telltale sign. I said, okay, well, listen, if your vision is blurry, and I told him, I said, can you blow your breath and smell your breath? And he said, yeah, it smells kind of sweet. I said, listen, you're about to have a metabolic episode. You need to go to the hospital right now. And when they went to the hospital, which I'm kind of upset about because the nurses, they don't check like they should. When he went to the hospital, they gave him insulin. And okay, so the next morning he woke up, he was fine. But then after he ate, his blood sugar went up super high. So they gave insulin again and dropped him. They brought him down too low. So when they kept trying different insulin, and one nurse, they changed the shifts and they're not checking it and they're not looking in the chart. So they're raising him and dropping him, raising him and dropping him. And he went into what we call defibrillation. And he, unfortunately, from that, he went into a coma, a diabetic coma. After atrial fibrillation, he went into a diabetic coma. And in that coma, he had a massive coronary. He had a heart attack. Yeah. So that diabetes with that and all is a factor with high blood pressure, diabetes. That's all a factor, and that sends the body going crazy. Now the next one, Jameson, with him, intestines, poor diet. That was my roommate from college. What he had, what we call diverticulitis. That's the thinning, the thin line inside your intestines. That's the thinning of that wall, and you develop pockets inside, and those pockets become inflamed. Now he told me when he was diagnosed what was going on. I said it's not a life sentence. I said the meat, because he was a heavy meat eater. He's gonna have some red meat every day.
Right.
And his choice of vegetable was potatoes, which is not a vegetable.
Yeah.
So, and that red, because he was a heavy meat eater, it sits in your stomach and it thins the lines of your intestines. So they didn't tell him that he can't do what he was supposed to do while he had diverticulitis. Now, all the vegetables and stuff that you're supposed to eat to not develop it, you can't have it now because you got it. The only thing you can have is a soft palate diet. That includes like the yogurt and applesauce and stuff like that. They're not going to go inside those pockets in your intestines and cause it to inflame, which will cause you to bleed internally, which what he did. And he was home by himself. He started bleeding internally and made the body sepsis, and he went into shock, and he couldn't even call 911. And they found him inside his house, curled up in the fetal position, deceased.
Listening to you talk, and one of the things that come to my mind is this: we are creatures of habit. So, and I think I would say this to the audience, is that hearing, especially we're talking about if you have young men as sons, if you have sons, young men, no matter what their age is, whether or not they're teenage age or young adult age, I think it's important that we need to get in the habit of teaching our children the importance of having those regular doctor visits and not just waiting till something happens. Then all of a sudden you want to go to the doctor, you might talk about, and I say that very, very lightly intentionally about, well, I'm going to do this to make my health better. I'm going to take this medication, because a lot of times the doctor can prescribe medication for you to take, But no, because you may feel that it may have some adverse feeling you in another area, you won't take it. You refuse to take the medication, and then you're going on thinking that, oh, I'm all right. All I got to do is do this or do that there. I'm going to be fine. But I think that these are some extreme mistakes that we're making when we don't instill that culture in our young children, and our sons and daughters, especially our sons, at a young age, the importance of going to the doctor.
That is very important. Because if you don't know, you can't even help yourself.